went from the coast to Christchurch. I would have been 11. So from a 2-room classroom to a big intermediate, Linwood Intermediate in Christchurch, and what a culture shock. But I got encouraged by the teachers there with my writing more than anything. And then when I went to Christchurch Girls, I have got one work which is in that file, which is the one that I did when I was 14.
Yeah.
It's still quite interesting because it's got that almost monochromatic color scheme, and it's the bare hills and the bare trees.
It's so beautiful.
And it's totally from memory, that work. So I started doing that, and that was year 10. And at the end of that year, Mum went to school. Mum was really diligent about going and meeting all our teachers and doing stuff like that. And she met with my dean and said, Shelley really wants to do art next year. And the dean said, oh, good. Thank God she can do something, because I was lousy at maths and science. So Mum supported me, and I was in an academic class. My English was really good. I loved history. So everything else I was good at, just maths and science weren't mine. And my mum almost gave me permission to be bad at the maths, because she was bad at it too. And she said, right, well, you take after me. And that was the end of it. No hard feelings about it either way. So she fought for me to do art, which meant in an academic school in the early 60s, I had to go from the A stream to the G stream.
Really?
And I was allowed to do school certificate art. And
Wow.
school certificate art were 2 3-hour papers. And you spent all year practicing how to do them, like figure drawing and illustrating and things like that. So the kind of thing that you would get to do in a paper then was illustrate this. And it would be, curried sausages, he said, as he raised the lid of the pot. And that would be the topic for that painting in 3 hours. Or he raised the lantern high in the cave and looked at the treasure chest.
Oh my gosh. That would have been so hard.
It was really hard. I mean, you either could do it or you can't. I mean, so different to what education is now.
Yeah.
But and then the design was things like logos and menu covers and posters. And I still remember what I did for my design. It was a menu for a fish restaurant. So I did a plate with 2 fish, with their knife on one side and the fork on the other, and they're trying to run away.
Really? Oh my gosh, it's so different, isn't it, to what we do now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that was my school cert year, and I was got the art prize that year. And then it was, well, what are you going to do now? No art in 6th form.
Really?
No. So that's when I got into my writing more, and my reading and my history. So I kind of got really into that year. And then they said I could do fine arts prelim, and fine arts prelim was 2 subjects. And I really didn't have a sense of what I wanted to do. I just love making art. I love writing. So at the end of that year, they said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I'd like to go to art school. So they said, well, how are you going to do that? Because we didn't have a lot of money. So they said, why don't you do a studentship? I said, what's that? They said, oh, well, you promised to work in teaching for 3 years and the government will pay for you to go to university. Well, that would be all right. So my art teacher got on her bike and went over and got me in, and the rest is history.
Really?
So that's kind of how I got to art school.